Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are saying hello to the Tier 10 Split Branch Destroyer, U.S.S.R, the Grozovoi, and we are playing on Mountain Range. We have a Iowa, Fidrosa, North Carolina, Des Moines, Chapayev, Kutuzov, Miyoko, Gearing, two Shimakaze, Grozovoi, and a Yukima on the enemy team. There is two Iowas, North Carolina, Des Moines, two Baltimore's, Rune, three Shimakazes, Grozovoi, and a Tashkent. And if you have not noticed, the enemy Shimakaze is actually a clanmate of mine, and we are currently talking with each other in chat. Now, the Grozovoi, she plays very, very similar to the Habrash in a lot of ways. One major thing, and I tend to even do this, even though I know I should not to, is rush into cap. As you can see, I'm actually taking my time. I'm kind of keeping the distance. I'm allowing the gearing to actually push out. He is pushing out quite slowly, in honesty. And we do have a AFK Shimakaze, so he's actually going to be useful later on, to be honest, now that I think about it. But he is going to be AFK, so we are technically going to be down one ship. Our team decided to push into A and B, and we'll see how that goes. Now, we do know there is a ship in at A, and we do have a friendly Des Moines to our right and behind us, currently pushing south. Now, the Grozovoi, like I said, is very, very similar to how the Habrash plays. It's not as tanky as the Habrash, and she does obviously have one less gun than the Habrash does. But as far as damage, very similar. I think the Habrash has a little bit more. And it looks like an enemy Shimakaze is finally spotted. And so I'm actually going to pull away. Looked at torpedoes. Torpedoes will go out at a range of 10 kilometers. And trying to get shots on this Shimakaze torps away, hoping he might pull forward. But it looks like the friendly Des Moines does pop his own radar. And that is going to allow us just to hammer away on this enemy Shimakaze. He is in a terrible position. His engine is down, and looks like he's firing AP at me. It's probably because I'm the only one spotted, honestly. I believe the gearing is in smoke. Turning in, and we can see the enemy Grozovoi has appeared on the battlefield. Go ahead, open up on him. Trying to get a few shots in. It looks like we get again incapacitation and 3 defended base caps. Not too bad. Our team's not doing so hot. We do have a Shimakaze. It looks like my clanmate's pushing into B, doing his best as trying to cap it. And we are the only one being targeted. Finally pull away, and this is kind of what you need to do. Once again, the Grozovoi's armor is not as tanky as the enemy Habrash, and here, as you saw, I did spot Lord Escalon in B, so I'm actually going to try to take him out as quick as possible. Now, the speed on the Grozovoi is decent. With a speed flag, you can get up around 40... actually around 41.5 knots. Without it is 39.5, so obviously not as fast as the Habrash. Your detection is definitely a lot better, down at around 7.2 kilometers. So you can at least sneak up on a Habrash if needs be, but honestly, I would not pick a fight with a Habrash with a Grozovoi. The Habrash is probably going to easily beat you down. It has one additional gun and a little bit more armor. Do let him know that I'm coming for him. And there the enemy Grozovoi does appear. Open up on him. See if we can get some good damage. And the speed on the shells are pretty decent. They leave the guns at around 950 meters per second, so overall not too bad. They go straight to target, very similar, very traditional of Russian destroyers guns. So straight to target, can fire at long range. So overall not too bad. Let's see. Still focusing on this Grozovoi. Gonna go ahead and slow down. He is obviously being spotted by our friendlies over at the A cap. And don't ask me where I was aiming there. I don't even know. Open up on. Let's see if we can land a hit. Now I do have to keep in mind there is a Shimakaze around. There's actually, I think, almost all. There's still 2 Shimakaze around. Have to be careful of using my smoke screen. Obviously, don't want to get accidentally torped. Tashkent is now in range. Tashkent is now the tier 9. I kind of wonder how the Kiev and the Tashkent are at their tiers. Kind of curious. Let's see. North Carolina is finally pulling out. Go ahead, drop torpedoes off on him. And this is one nice thing about the Grozovoi is the ability to invisitorp. And I'm not saying that the Habarash cannot, but the Grozovoi can get in a little bit closer than what the Grozovoi. And there are torpedoes, and I spot my clanmate, instantly switch over, and unfortunately for me, my shells are not going to land in time, and he goes down. So unfortunately, I was not able to take him out. But this is actually the second time I've seen a clanmate on the opposite team, and it's actually kind of fun because you actually get to try your best against him and his team, see who is possibly a better player. But we get a fire on this North Carolina, and overall, fire chance is not too bad. It's not as high as the Habdosh. Something to keep in mind. But we're gonna burn this North Carolina down. He is just burning alive. Second fire on this North Carolina. Looks like I've attracted the attention of the enemy Baltimore. He's hiding somewhere over in that island, and you can see we have 3 ships focusing on us. We have the enemy Tashkent, and I believe possibly even the Baltimore. I'm actually kind of curious who else was targeting me. But anyways, continually opening up on this North Carolina. Very, very low on health. He actually might get some torpedoes. Hopefully we can actually get the kill. That would be nice. Or another fire. There we go. There we go. Very first kill of the game, all due to fires. And the enemy team's not doing so hot. They still have quite a bit of their destroyers. They have lost 2. They have 2 Iowa still, and a Des Moines and a Baltimore, I believe. But the Baltimore's in a very, very precarious situation, even though he does take out the enemy Yugamo. Now we are located, and this would be a good captain trait to have, the ability to RDF. And fortunately for me, I was actually starting to slow down and pop smoke, and do get a good hit on the enemy Grozovoi. Now, one side little note, this Grozovoi is not the only destroyer on this side. Now we are doing pretty good damage. We knocked out his engine. That's obviously going to reduce any possibility of him actually slowing down to a full stop. Knock out his engine again, and oh, good lord, torpedoes. One final shot. Thought I was going to die, but oh, just look at this. Oh, torpedo beats. Nice. That is the second kill of the game. Took out the enemy Grozovoi. Shimikaze, I believe, dropped all 3 spreads of his. So he should be a little while before he can actually drop any more torps. Now, I was moving out of that smoke screen for a very good reason. Besides, obviously, possibility of being torped, there was a enemy Des Moines that was kind of pushing up and did not want to get accidentally radared while in my own smoke screen. So, gonna pull away, kind of try to keep my distance as much as possible. This enemy Tashkent's actually doing a really good job. He's taking a long time to die, which is obviously forcing our team to focus on him other than the other enemy ships. Open up on this Des Moines. The Des Moines more of a major threat than I. Now, I did say that Shimikaze is actually going to prove beneficial. He is actually currently spotting, for the most part, the entire enemy team. And we do get fire on that Des Moines, which is actually superbly nice. So, fortunately for us, the Shimikaze is spotting, but unfortunately for us, he does go down. But that's alright. The Iowa is still currently being spotted. While he's trying to continue pushing on. And just gonna try to focus down this Iowa. It looks like is he aiming at us? Nope. It was the other Iowa. The other Iowa was focused on us. Don't exactly know why we were such a big threat. Probably due to the fact that Lord Athlon was telling them to focus me down. That's my only guess. That's my only guess as to why an Iowa at what, 16 kilometers, almost 15 kilometers, was focusing a small little destroyer. Yeah. Oh, well. All right. So Shimakaze is now spotted by the friendly gearing. He's in a very terrible position. We are getting pretty good hits on him. It looks like he's trying to slow up and pop his own smoke, trying to disappear. But he does have, I believe, a Chapayev and a Miyoko pushing down him. So probably not going to be the best situation to be in, especially if that Chapayev does have radar available. And it looks like the friendly gearing does take out the enemy Iowa, but the enemy gearing, friendly gearing for that matter, probably needs to be a little bit careful just in case that Shimakaze has dropped torpedoes. Actually, I probably should be a little bit careful myself. Don't want to accidentally run into some torpedoes that, yep, there they are. Yep, Shimakaze dropped all spread of torpedoes, but I think this gearing is fairly safe. He's narrow in, and looks like the enemy Shimakaze is spotted, probably due to the fact of the Chapayev's radar. Let's see if we can get another kill. That would be superb. No, that's unfortunate. Unfortunately, gearing does take him out, and all that's left on the enemy team is the enemy Iowa and Des Moines, and they are, well, seriously in a very bad situation. Obviously, a lot of the stores are still around. Torpedoes are available, and right now I would like to get over 100k. That's what I would like to get. Enemy Iowa is the only one kind of available for us. The Des Moines is just fleeing away as quickly as possible, probably due to the fact that he doesn't want to be killed off that quickly. Now, Iowa is coming around the corner to a Chapayev and some torpedoes, and he is probably going to pull away. He's probably well aware there's a possibility of being torped, so he's actually going to pull away, and I'm actually going to be ballsy. Let's do this. Let's push into A and try to get more damage, because like I said, I would like to get more damage. 82k is not too bad, but 100k would be just right. Now, the high explosive, like I said, will not do as much as the Habdosh, but the armor piercing's pretty decent. So right now I'm focusing on this Des Moines. He is a threat to a lot of the destroyers, but obviously he's not currently focusing on me. But we do have a enemy Iowa that is off to our port side. And there we go. Yep, let's focus down this Iowa. He's just being hammered away by a Chapayev. Look at all this HE spam. Just HE galore. Now, high explosives, not too bad. And we get a fire. But the armor piercing. Armor piercing's pretty good. Watch this. There we go. 19k. 3,000. Not too bad. And the guns reload very, very quickly. 3.3 seconds. You can get the armor piercing downfield very, very quickly. And unfortunately for us, we don't get the kill. But the Chapayev does, and this Des Moines is left alone. So that is actually going to be the end of this battle. So let's take a look at the victory screen. So our team earned a victory. We brought home 460,946 silver, 3,437 XP, and 688 free XP. We did 105,429 points of damage, 231 shell hits, 3 defended base captures, 6 incapacitations, 2 kills, and 8 fires. We earned second on the team, right under the Chapayev. Praise to the Chapayev. He actually got 4 kills. He's very close to his Kraken with a base XP of 2,182. Damage wise, we did 29, almost 30,000 against that enemy North Carolina, around 24,400 against the enemy Grozovoi, and around 19 against the enemy Iowa. So pretty decent. I'm very well satisfied with that. High explosive damage did around 65,369, with armor piercing doing around 11,000. I think most of that was coming from the enemy Iowa that we were firing on at the very end. Unfortunately for us, no torpedoes did land, but fires did around 28,800 93 points of damage. So overall, not too bad. So after everything was said and done, 168,446 was brought home. And let's actually quickly hop into port and take a look at the stats. I will see you guys there. Alright everyone, welcome back to the port, and I have to say, I do like the Grozovoi. She may not be as powerful and potent as the Hakaym is, but overall she's not a bad ship. She's actually fairly decent and played correctly, and you aren't forced to go into caps, as you did see I did take my time. You could do pretty well in the Grozovoi, so overall not a bad ship. Really do like her. So survivability 20,900. Now keep in mind my captain is not fully captained up, and I'm still tossing around what I should go for, and I'll talk more about the captain in a little bit. So you could easily, and as you did see, the Grozovoi captain actually did have the health increase for his captain, so that's why he had more health than I did. 20,900, not too bad. Here, let's go get our Hakaym, since this is in the same nation. But obviously it's a different type of destroyer. So our Hakaym, and this is with a fully spec'd up captain, has 22,500. So overall, very similar as far as the health pool. Obviously the Hakaym has a little bit more, and I believe, if I remember correctly, no, I do not have survivability expert on my Hakaym. So that is a little bit different. So both base health pool very similar. Obviously the Grozovoi is a little bit less tanky than the Hakaym, with that less of a health pool and less armor. Hakaym has about 50 millimeters versus 16 at the thickest, so you definitely want to kind of stay away. You're not really that good, especially against another Hakaym. You're gonna have a tough time. Artillery, you have 3 dual 130 millimeters. Hakaym has 4. Major difference is actually the Grozovoi has a faster reload, and this is as far as just base. Well, probably with a little bit of captain's perks such as basics firing training. 3.3 seconds on the Grozovoi and 4 seconds on the Hakaym. And I do have basics firing training on both of them, so that's why it's actually down that far. Turn times on the guns is a little bit slow, 11.5 seconds. My Hakaym does have 9 seconds, but he does have armor or expert marksman on him, so that's why the guns turn a little bit quicker on the Hakaym. Max HE damage is 1800 with a 10% fire chance and 2600 with the AP damage. Hakaym has the same as far as amount as damage. Actually a little bit higher, sorry. Has 100 more HE damage, but the same as the AP damage with a 10.5% fire chance. So very similar between the two. 950 for the velocity versus 900. So the Grozovoi has that slightly faster out of the gun velocity, and I haven't really noticed any slowdown. They seem very I guess you could say traditional for the Russian destroyer line, where they go straight to target. Haven't had to lead that much, but overall not too bad on the guns. Though I do see a tendency of them breaking, but I don't know if it's just me. Maybe on to torpedoes. The Grozovoi has a slightly slower reload, slightly less damage than the Hakaym, but they go 65 knots. So reload time is 129. Max damage is 14,600 versus the Hakaym, which is I think a 1,100, something like that. Yep, 15,100. Good lord. Then the range is the same with 10 kilometers, but the Hakaym has 56 knots. Yes, 56 knots on their torpedoes, while the Grozovoi has 65. So the torpedoes go a little bit faster. They don't hit quite as hard, but there's only about 500 damage difference. And reload is a little bit slower, but overall not too bad. But the major difference is the AA defense. So the rating is 61 versus the Hakaym, which has 57. Main thing is not these. These are two quadruple, 25 millimeters. Average damage is 20 with 3.7, but it is these 4 quintuple 45 millimeters. Average damage is 99 with 4.2 kilometer range. And then, of course, the 3 dual 130 millimeters. Average damage is 61 with 6.2 kilometers. So the main difference is her AA is pretty decent. You can shoot down planes. Higher tiers a little bit more difficult because of the higher health pool. But if you're facing off, say, against a tier 8 like a Lexington or Shikaku, the AA can shoot down quite a bit of planes. I remember one battle I shot down, I think 10 or 15 planes, and that does also mean that I did use defensive AA or defensive fire. So with that, you can shoot down quite a bit of planes, and it's really beneficial. Now, maneuverability, she's actually a little bit slower. My Grozovoi does have a speed flag on it. On her, she has a max speed of 39.5 knots without the flag and 41.5 with the flag. Now, obviously, if you go for defensive fire, you will not get that speed boost, that engine boost that you can get. But that's a sacrifice, and I almost would say that's a good sacrifice, because when you do face off against a CV and it goes after you, having that defensive fire can save your life, especially higher tier midways or even Shikakus. So having that defensive AA is very beneficial. Though, granted, yes, whenever you do not see CVs in battle, it can be very annoying that you don't have that speed boost. So it's a trade-off you kind of have to take. Rudder shift time is 4.6. Turning circle radius is 720 meters. Habarash has 760 meter turning circle radius, and a 8.9 second rudder shift time. So she's a little bit more nimble. She still has a big turning circle radius, but she has a better rudder shift time than the Habarash. Concealment is pretty decent. 7.2 kilometers versus the Habarash at 8.7. So this is the only time you're able to actually outspot another destroyer, is when you're facing off against a Habarash. So that's kind of where I'm debating on my captain skill, whether or not I should try to go for Concealment Expert. I know probably some people are probably going to tell me not to. I don't know at this point. I'm working up to a 4th point. I don't know if I want to go for something else. But here, before I talk any more about the captain, I keep jumping to the captain. Let's take a look at the upgrades. So there is one upgrade you can get, and I would recommend it. This is the torpedo upgrade. This increases your range to 10 kilometers and reduces your torpedo speed by 1 knot. So it's a very good trade-off versus the Habarash's torpedo upgrade, which I don't really recommend. It reduces it down to 53 knots, range of 6 kilometers, and 19,500. Big damage, but you would almost have to be suicidal for using those torpedoes, and I recommend either sticking with those or higher range torpedoes than with the shorter range. Anyways, back to the Grozovoi. The consumables, like I said, you can have engine boost. This will obviously boost your speed, but defensive AA with premium, active for 30 seconds. Reload time is 120 seconds, and you get 3 charges. And once again, I still recommend this over the engine boost. I still think it's very beneficial, although slightly maddening that CVs are not always a guarantee that you see, but when they are, it's fantastic to have. As far as like upgrades, very similar to the Habarash, actually exact same as the Habarash, so I'm not probably going to probably not going to suggest anything else. Now moving on to my captain finally. All right. Here is the thing. My captain, got this captain on the Ognavoy. So this captain is fairly new, and he got a huge boost from my free XP. Lucky bastard. First one, I went for priority target. It is actually super nice to know who's aiming at you and if you should be pulling away if needs be. I like this. Possibly even preventative maintenance would be extremely beneficial, especially trying to reduce the possibility of your engines or rudder being knocked out. So if I had a spare point, I will probably put it there. Then obviously Last Stand. Basics firing training is very beneficial. Demolition expert, yes, it's a must. And then advanced firing training just for that additional range. So that leaves me with 7 more points. Thought about going for concealment expert. Obviously, there reduces the detectability of destroyers by 10%. Like I said, still debating on that. Don't really know. If I don't do that, torpedo expertise might be nice. Superintendent would be nice as well, but I'm honestly, I don't use my smokes all too often. That I find it very rarely, especially if a battle is going bad. I would wish I had an additional charge, but not something I see all or wanting all that often. Survivability expert would be nice. Adds additional 350 per tier, so that's 3,500. So that would bring me up to almost 2,400. So that would be nice. Jack of all trades, maybe. Don't really know, but anyways, I'm still gonna work on this captain as we go. Like I said, I really do enjoy the Grozovoi. It's a fun ship. It's a different feel from the Habarash, exact same time, very similar to how the Habarash plays. Very similar in a lot of ways. But anyways, if you do want to give me some advice on what captain skills I could go for my Grozovoi, do leave me a comment down below and we'll chat. But anyways, this is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.